For all things health and fitness, this is the Army Gymnastics Podcast.
The Army Gymnastics Podcast.
Discover a fitter, healthier you at armygymnastics.com.
All right, so we're diving into fruits and veggies today. And, you sent over some really interesting research about all this stuff, the health benefits, how much we're eating globally, and also that they're really as expensive as people think they are. It's so much to unpack.
Yeah, it looks like you're really ready to go deep on this one. I mean, beyond just the 5-a-day message.
Totally. We all know fruits and veggies are good for us, but I'm really curious about the specifics. Like, one thing that stood out to me from what you sent over is that fruits and vegetables are packed with way more than just vitamins and minerals.
Yeah.
We're talking fiber, electrolytes, antioxidants, even phytochemicals. It's like a whole nutritional symphony going on in there.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is all of these components, they actually kind of work together, synergistically to create this symphony of benefits that go way beyond just, preventing chronic diseases. It's more like they actively contribute to our well-being. Like that study about antioxidants and how they impact cellular health.
Oh, yeah.
That was a real eye-opener.
Yeah, the one about antioxidants, especially in those brightly colored fruits and veggies, acting as scavengers to neutralize harmful free radicals. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's like they have this incredible ability to fight off cellular damage before it even begins. And then there's fiber, which it seems like you were interested in.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm always hearing about how important fiber is. But the research you sent over really highlighted how fiber impacts nutrient absorption. It's not just about, keeping things moving, if you know what I mean. It's about creating this like gel-like environment in our gut that slows down the digestion of fats, proteins, and carbs.
Yeah, it's almost like it's like a slow release system in your gut so that all those nutrients don't hit your bloodstream all at once.
Wow.
Which is probably one of the keys to preventing those energy spikes and crashes.
That's amazing. This is a real deep dive.
Yeah.
It makes you realize that eating your fruits and veggies isn't just about checking off boxes. It's really about optimizing how our bodies use the nutrients we consume. Speaking of optimizing, some of the research you sent over about specific fruits and vegetables really blew my mind.
Oh, yeah. Like which ones?
Well, I was really fascinated by the benefits of berries, grapes, and pomegranate.
Yeah, those are some powerhouses. Do you know that? One study found that just 1 cup of pomegranate juice daily significantly improved blood flow and reduced blood pressure in people with heart disease.
Wow, that's incredible.
Pretty powerful juice.
Yeah, but I had no idea it was that potent. Definitely adding more pomegranate to my shopping list. What about vegetables? Any standouts there?
Well, you highlighted cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower in your research.
Right.
Those are like the MVPs when it comes to potentially reducing the risk of certain cancers.
And it's not just about eating them, but also how we prepare them too. Like lightly steaming broccoli seems to preserve more of those cancer-fighting compounds than boiling.
You've really done your homework?
I try.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
We've talked about the powerhouses, we've talked about the standouts, but there's also this myth that fruits and veggies are too high in sugar, especially for people who are trying to manage their weight.
Yeah.
What's the truth about that?
It's understandable why people might think that, especially with all the talk about sugar these days. But it's crucial to remember that while some fruits do contain natural sugars, fruits and non-starchy vegetables are incredibly low in energy density because they're primarily made up of water and fiber.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So
a big salad is going to fill you up way more than a handful of chips, even if they have similar calorie counts.
Exactly. And, you sent over some research from the USDA about the affordability of fruits and vegetables.
Oh, yeah.
And I have to say, the data might surprise you.
Oh, really? I was curious about that because it always feels like healthy eating means breaking the bank.
Yeah. Well, according to the USDA, you can actually meet those recommended fruit and veggie intakes for about $2.50 to $3 per day.
Seriously, that's less than my daily coffee habit.
It really puts things into perspective.
It does.
And what's even more interesting is that you don't always have to opt for fresh produce. Frozen or canned fruits and veggies can actually be more economical, especially when you factor in spoilage and waste.
That's a great point. Yeah, sometimes those frozen berries are a lifesaver, especially when the fresh ones are out of season or too expensive.
It's all about finding what works for you and your budget. And I think this is where we start to see the importance of Looking at the global picture of fruit and vegetable intake, it's not just about individual choices. It's about understanding global trends and the role of nutrition education.
Okay, so let's shift gears and go global then. I'm ready to unpack those fascinating intake discrepancies you mentioned.
Okay, let's do it. So, it's pretty fascinating to see how fruit and vegetable consumption varied around the world. The WHO recommends at least 5 servings a day, but it seems like achieving that goal depends on a lot more than just a country's wealth.
Yeah, I was surprised by some of that data in the research I sent you, like Uganda and China having higher average consumption than countries like Denmark and Germany. That was unexpected.
Yeah, it really challenges the assumption that, access to fresh produce is only tied to economic factors. It seems like cultural preferences and even the types of agricultural practices they have in place can play a pretty big role. And then, speaking of recommendations, there's been a debate about whether 5 servings is enough. Some countries are suggesting 6 to 10 servings a day. So it seems like we need a more unified global message about just how much produce we should be aiming for.
So it sounds like with all these global differences, effective nutrition education is key. Like we need to go beyond just telling people to eat their veggies. I was really interested in those successful interventions you mentioned, like health campaigns and tailored programs.
Yeah.
How do those actually work?
Well, remember that Go for 2 and 5 campaign?
Oh, yeah.
They used those catchy slogans and visuals to promote fruit and vegetable consumption, and it actually saw some success in boosting intake. And then there are multi-component programs like Eat for Life, which combine education with practical skills like cooking classes and even supermarket tours to help people make healthier choices.
Oh, wow. Supermarket tours. I love that idea. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's like taking nutrition education out of the classroom and into the real world where people are actually making those food decisions.
Exactly. And then you were curious about tailored interventions, which have shown to be even more effective. It's all about delivering information in smaller doses over time and really addressing those individual barriers that might be preventing someone from eating more produce. Maybe it's a lack of time, limited cooking skills, or even just not knowing how to choose right produce.
Right. It sounds like it's about meeting people where they are and empowering them to make lasting changes rather than overwhelming them with information.
That's a good way to put it. And what's interesting is that your research also touched on the potential link between diet and mental well-being, which is an area that's getting more and more attention these days.
Oh, yeah. That article about the gut-brain connection was fascinating. I had heard about it, but never really connected it to fruit and vegetable intake. So are you saying that eating more produce could actually impact our mental health?
Well, there's definitely growing evidence to suggest that that might be the case. While more research is needed, some studies have shown a correlation between higher fruit and vegetable intake and lower risks of depression and anxiety.
Wow, that's pretty incredible. It really makes you wonder if we've been underestimating the power of these everyday foods.
It is remarkable how what we put into our bodies can impact our mental and emotional states. And beyond individual benefits, imagine the global implications if we could, collectively shift towards more plant-based diets.
Oh, wow. That's a huge thought. So less chronic disease and a healthier planet. Sign me up. But how realistic is that kind of shift?
Well, it's definitely a big challenge, but I think it starts with changing the narrative around fruits and vegetables. Instead of viewing them as a thing we should eat, what if we started celebrating them as a delicious and essential part of a vibrant life?
I love that. It's about shifting from obligation to enjoyment. It's about rediscovering the pleasure of, biting into a juicy peach or savoring the earthy sweetness of roasted root vegetables.
Yeah, exactly. It's about appealing to the senses, the emotions, and even our cultural connections to food. We need to showcase the incredible diversity of fruits and vegetables, the endless culinary possibilities, and the sheer joy of preparing and sharing meals with loved ones.
Right. And speaking of sharing, I was really interested in those community-based initiatives you mentioned, like creating more accessible farmers markets where people can connect with local growers and really experience the freshness and variety of seasonal produce.
Yeah, those are fantastic examples. And imagine integrating nutrition education into school curricula from a young age. If we can teach children about the importance of fruits and vegetables, and make it fun and engaging, they're much more likely to develop those healthy habits that last a lifetime.
It's about planting those seeds early on and fostering a love of healthy eating that grows with them.
And Technology can play a big role too. Think about apps that help people track their intake, find delicious recipes, or even connect with others who share similar goals.
Right. It's about making healthy eating easier and more accessible in our increasingly digital world.
Exactly. And don't forget about personalized meal planning services, which are becoming more and more popular. Imagine having a nutritionist create a customized meal plan that takes into account, your dietary needs, your preferences, and even your budget.
Wow, that takes all the guesswork out of it.
Yeah, it's about finding solutions that fit seamlessly into people's busy lives and make healthy eating a joy, not a chore.
And speaking of joy, I think it's important to remember that, food is meant to be enjoyed. It's about nourishment, yes, but it's also about connection, culture, and celebration.
Absolutely. We shouldn't lose sight of the pleasure that comes from sharing a meal with loved ones or savoring the flavors of our favorite dishes.
Exactly. It's about finding a balance between those healthy choices and, those special indulgences that make life delicious.
I agree. And when it comes to fruits and vegetables, there's so much room for creativity and exploration. Think beyond, the basic salads and steamed veggies.
Right, let's get adventurous. I'm thinking grilled pineapple with a sprinkle of chili powder, roasted root vegetables with herbs and spices, or even smoothies packed with leafy greens and berries.
Those are some great examples. And don't forget about global cuisines. There are countless dishes from around the world that showcase fruits and vegetables in unique and flavorful ways.
I'm always up for trying new things. I think the key is to approach healthy eating with a sense of curiosity and excitement, rather than viewing it as a set of rules or restrictions.
I think that's a great mindset. It's about embracing the abundance of, flavors, textures, and culinary traditions that really celebrate the goodness of nature.
And when we approach it with that mindset, healthy eating becomes a journey of discovery rather than a destination.
That's beautiful. It's about cultivating a lifelong love of, nourishing our bodies and minds with the bounty that nature provides.
Wow, so we've gone from the cellular level to the global scale and back again?
Yeah, it really is amazing how interconnected it all is, from those tiny antioxidants fighting free radicals to the potential impact of plant-based diets on the whole planet.
I know, it's pretty mind-blowing. Well, we've really dug deep into your research and uncovered some incredible insights about the benefits of fruits and vegetables, the challenges of global intake, and that crucial role of nutrition education.
And I think we've debunked some common myths along the way, too, like the idea that healthy eating has to be expensive, or that fruits and veggies are too high in sugar.
Totally. I feel like I have a whole new perspective on these everyday foods. What really stood out to me is that idea of shifting from should to celebrate.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
It's not about forcing ourselves to eat things we don't like or feeling guilty for indulging every now and then.
Right.
It's about finding joy in the process, exploring new flavors and textures, and rediscovering that simple pleasure of nourishing our bodies with nature's bounty.
It is about embracing that abundance of flavors, textures, and culinary traditions that really celebrate the goodness of nature.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's that one? Thought-provoking question. We want to leave our listeners with something that will spark their imagination and inspire them to continue their own fruit and veggie adventures.
That's a good one. How about, what if we reframed our relationship with fruits and vegetables and saw them not just as food, but as a vibrant expression of life itself?
Ooh, I love that. A vibrant expression of life. It's a reminder that every bite is a connection to the earth, to the seasons, and to that incredible power of nature to nourish and sustain us.
Beautiful.
Well, on that note, I think it's time to head to the kitchen and get creative. Thanks for this incredible deep dive. I feel informed, inspired, and ready to embrace all the goodness fruits and veggies have to offer.
It's been a pleasure. And remember, healthy eating is a journey, not a destination. Embrace the process. Experiment with new things. And most importantly, enjoy the ride.
Absolutely. And now for all things health and fitness, visit armygymnastics.com. It's your go-to resource for expert advice, workout plans, and personalized fitness solutions. Don't miss out on the tools that can help you reach your fitness goals.
Until next time, happy eating.
Thanks for listening. For all things health and fitness, subscribe to our newsletter today. Find out more at armygymnastics.com.